So now this big moment is here, and it's time for my August update for my seasonal outlook. And as you can see, there's a bit to change. I'm going to be in. No, I'll say it again. But right now, since the last mid-July outlook, when I was starting to question whether the season would, whether activity in the East Pacific would pick up or not. Well, guess what? It did, and it did so in a big way, and the season has shifted into high gear like we were waiting for. Now our stat line's pretty interesting. 11 named storms, 6 hurricanes, and 5 major hurricanes. Yes, 5 major hurricanes. That is as many as I predicted for the whole season at the last week's after my weekly update last week. So it's been pretty impressive, the activity out for obvious reasons, and more is on the way in the short term. Right now we have Invest 990, which has a 60% chance of developing, and it looks within the next 48 hours, and it looks pretty close to tropical cyclone formation. Probably will be declared and probably either early tomorrow morning, maybe later tonight, maybe not. We'll see, but probably early tomorrow morning. This will be declared a tropical depression. And we also have this new area of disturbed weather that has a 10%, it's near 135 degrees west, has a 10% chance of developing within the next 2 days, and a 40% chance of developing within the next 5 days. And it's possible the system, as indicated by several JFS model runs and some of the CMC runs, show the system becoming yet another Hawaii threat, while they show 990 curving out to sea. However, the no gaps model, which probably shows the most realistic case, shows the 1040 system passing low to the south of Hawaii. So I'm in the middle between the two, and think the system will clip Hawaii to the south a little bit. Like 50, 100 miles south of South Point. As a weakening tropical system, but we'll see what happens. But now on to the actual outlook. I don't know if this will be in 2 parts or not, so let's get right to it. Obviously, some of the same conditions that were in place then are still in place now, except that the shear, which was previously supposed to be a small issue due to the recent cooling of Nino regions 1 and 2, and has now decreased again, and should not be a problem for the rest of the season. Vertical instability remains consistently well above normal. Shear is pretty low, though there is some shear that you typically see in El Nino years. Now, of course, there's a question, are we going to get El Nino? I'm leaning toward yes. We'll have to wait and see, because right now, assuming we have Karina, like within a day or two, probably tomorrow we'll have by this time we'll have Karina potentially. Thus, the initially on Karina. Thus, that would put August 13th as the formation date of a 11th storm, and that is behind 1992, 1982, and 1985, but ahead of 1990 and 1983, in 1984. And those 2014 with those other seasons I just mentioned are the top 6 most active East Pacific seasons on record, and I think we will enter that group of the holy group of 6 that those elite 6 seasons are. My forecast verifies. So if we continue on its present rate for a storm a week from now till, assuming we get 2 systems this week, so that would put, we would be at, how many? We're at 11 now, so we'd be at 13. 13, then the remaining 2 weeks would be 15. 19, that would be, we have to continue till mid-October at its present rate in order to get 21 named storms. That looks doable, but slightly conservative. And that assumes that nothing will form in November. In El Nino year, the storm in November is somewhat likely. However, the last 3 Novembers have seen a storm in November. And while I do think EPAC seasons are trending later, I would not count on a storm in November. Nevertheless, will be something to watch. And we'll see what happens. But right now, just everything suggests a very warm ocean. There's nothing stopping it. Let's talk and get more specifics about where the storm could form. Well, right now, the current setup is kind of like an Atlantic storm. The system's either A, recurve out to sea, or continue westward and threaten land, or in this case, Hawaii. Or if not, they recurve out to sea and threaten the Pacific Northwest. So this is kind of like what you see in the Atlantic. And that's what kind of pattern we're in right now. And it's likely that the next 2, 3 systems are going to have that kind of pattern. But I do think the third system behind it, system currently behind 99E, will be forced to go northeast, be like Hernan, but weaker, since it will interact with 99E/Carina. But we'll see what happens. Because right now, there's really nothing from stopping storms from forming one after another after another after another. Unless it gets developed too quickly early on and kind of gets caught up into some shear, like off the west coast of Baja California, and bypasses the area of super warm waters, then it won't form. But otherwise, pretty much everything is forming, or at least has a chance of forming. The shear is moderate at most, and for an unusually large portion of the Pacific low. Think about Julio right now. Think about it. It's at nearly 30 degrees north. It's over 27 degrees Celsius sea surface temperatures. That is incredible and unheard of. It used to be, back in the day, that it would be 23 degree ocean temperatures in that part of the world. That's like that's a warming of 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, at least for this year. I mean, you can read the several theories why, and I don't want to really go into it. So we'll wait and see what happens. Right now, we should get nearly 20. We should get over 20 storms this season. And I did know in my actual text file that I did yesterday that there is never mind. That there's a chance, a very slim chance that the system could reach the Greek alphabet. The season would have to continue at its present rate as we go into since July 25th instead of more of a climatological 1 storm per week rate. And we have to get probably 5 more storms this month, not counting Carina. 15, we have to get 20, that would be the 26 named storms, and we need a 3-storm November. That would be 29 named storms in order for us to go to Greek. No, it wouldn't. We need a 5-storm October, a 5-storm September, and a 5-storm rest of the month. Odds of that happening, we have 26 storms. We already had 1. We're probably going to have 2 Central Pacific storms. If that were to happen, we'd be in a position where we could go Greek. But I don't think that'll happen. We do have some negative factors in that we're not going to always have MGO to our disposal. MGO is being very weird right now, and really kind of incoherent, so it's not really occurring the basin. What MGO intensifies, and if it does like it did last year, it could be good and bad. The good could be is that it would lead to more East Pacific storms than normal. The bad would be that there'd be fewer East Pacific storms. The bad would have to be during the suppressed phases of the MGO. There could be fewer East Pacific tropical storms than what you normally expect. I mean, yeah, we haven't gained a lot of Calvin waves, and we don't know if this El Nino event is self-sustaining at this point. It could be, but we don't know for sure. We do have, well, we do have now have negative, well, we have neutral anomalies, and we had negative anomalies for about a couple weeks now. So, we'll see if we get an El Nino. I mean, there's good agreement with the models that we will, but models tend to have a warm bias. And when it comes to forecasting EMS they aren't very good overall. So we will wait. Let's see. So we'll see. But my final numbers for this forecast, as I'll say it later. Then any other factors? Oh, for landfalls, yes. I will note that the spot in Mexico coast, that's typical of El Nino years, are at a much, much higher risk than normal when it comes to the months of September and October. And this year is proven to be no exception. There's a band of 30-degree water has just developed off the west coast of Mexico. That is well above normal, and or somewhat above normal, and can become very dangerous once the second half of the season rolls around. But and once we start getting more landfalls, as you know, October and September are the prime months East Pacific majors, but I'll talk about that more in weekly updates. And my numbers for the season are 21 named storms, 11 hurricanes, and 7 major hurricanes for my August update. I'll probably do another update in September and another in October. So we'll see what happens. I'm signing off. Goodbye. Bye.